Why is it that we'd much rather spend our time leveling up our in-game characters and are prepared to spend more time researching how to make virtual money rather than spend that time focusing on ourselves and our own finances? Some may say it's the instant gratification a video game gives you that real life invariably doesn't. That feeling of getting something quickly in a relatively short period of time, where we get that dopamine hit of leveling up in the virtual world. We level up our in-game characters because the results feel achievable. Despite how hard getting a 99 skill on Runescape was, you knew if you put the hours in, you could achieve the ever desired skill cape. Whereas when we reflect on our own lives, perhaps those goals of leveling up financially perhaps don't feel so achievable. On Runescape, you could just go and PK someone in the wilderness and you'd be a couple of 100,000 GP richer. Whereas in real life, making that kind of money is much harder. But what if there was a parallel between the virtual world and the real world? What if we could use the skills in which we learn from gaming and apply them to real life? Could we truly emulate the same level of success if we gave it enough time and effort? Well, in today's video, I'm going to try and explore this concept in a little bit more detail as someone who was an avid gamer myself when I was a teenager. In every spare minute of time in which I had, I'd either be playing RuneScape, Call of Duty, FIFA, or F1. So in today's video, I'm going to look to apply some in-game principles to the real world. We'll look at how we can potentially use those principles in order to make more money and financially empower ourselves. But before I do so, guys, my name is Mitch. I post all kinds of videos on investing and the stock market. If you do enjoy content like that, hit that big red subscribe button down below as well. Drop a like on the video, guys. Really helps out the channel. With that being said, let's dive straight into it. So let's start with the basics of personal finance and life in general. So for those of you guys who don't know, when you sign up to practically any video game, you go through a tutorial styled format in the beginning. If we take RuneScape as the example, you go through a tutorial styled walkthrough of the game first, where you learn all of the basic skills for the game like cooking, fishing, smithing, and even killing your first goblin, before you're set out on your journey with just 25 GP and a few basic pieces of equipment to go and make your way in the world of RuneScape. That's kind of how life treats you in its early stages. You go to school, you go through your education, you go to university, you get a degree, and then you're let loose into the real world with practically no money in order to find your way in life. And I think that's probably the first thing that we should probably draw a parallel on. The education system isn't really set up to financially empower the people that go through it. Instead, you learn a topic or a skill and then you look to pursue a career in that topic or skill in which you're interested in. And that's kind of how the world of RuneScape works too. You choose a skill like woodcutting as an example and then look to level up that skill over time. The equivalent job in the real world being a tree surgeon. You spend all of your in-game time cutting trees forever and a day and then look to sell the logs as a means of payment for your work. Similar to that of real life, which I guess we could refer to as a job. In essence, you exchange your time and skill for a wage or a salary, and the better that you become at that skill in which you're offering, the more in which you're typically paid for it. The big difference being, in game it only takes a few hours to level up your skills in order to get to a decent level, whereas in real life it's quite the opposite. It can take years and years to really master a skill and become a knowledgeable expert in your field or career in which you've chosen, and then you hopefully look for that one step up the career ladder, also known as a promotion. Now, whilst taking those few years in order to develop your own skills and knowledge may be okay for some, others certainly want to move faster in life. And that's where I want to move on to the next parallel, which comes to investing in yourself. If we go back to RuneScape as the example, once you level up, you can unlock better equipment. For example, once you hit 41 woodcutting, you unlock the Rune Axe, which makes woodcutting so much quicker than it was previously, using a shitty iron axe instead. But it will set you back 7,241 GP in order to acquire it. The same kind of goes for life too. If you want to level up quicker and improve your financial position quicker, it's wise to look to invest in better equipment, better knowledge, and better skills, because it will certainly speed up your time for success. It's kind of what I've done with this YouTube channel. I started this channel by putting out videos that were absolutely poor at best, stood in front of a whiteboard and talking like a teacher in a classroom. But over time, I really wanted to up the production quality and invest back into this channel, so I decided to buy a better camera, I decided to buy a proper tripod for that camera to stand on, and I even bought a £300 subscription to Storyblocks for visual overlays in order to improve the overall production quality of the videos. All in all, costed me probably somewhere in the realms of about £1,000 just for these three things alone, and there's certainly so much more that can be done in order to improve this channel. Nonetheless, what I've decided to do is invest back into the channel in the hope that by investing into better equipment, hopefully having better production quality of videos, that the channel will grow quicker. Sometimes you just have to take that chance on yourself in life and not only invest in your in-game character in order to level up quicker, but also invest in yourself, your YouTube channel, your passion project, your business, or whatever it may be in order to achieve the goals in which you have. So what are your options? How can you get a little bit more creative in order to generate perhaps an additional stream of income in order to be able to be in a better position to invest in yourself and financially empower yourself as well? Well, on Runescape, instead of just selling the logs which you've been able to obtain from woodcutting, you can carve the logs into a bow and attach a bowstring and sell the bow for even more than what you could do if you were to just sell the logs on their own. In essence, you're taking one item, adding value to it, and then being able to sell that overall item for more. I guess in the real world, this is probably the equivalent to making your own product, where you get lots of materials either physically or digitally, and then you put those materials together and then look to sell them to your customers. Let's take a digital product as an example, like an online course. In the vast majority of cases, the information that everybody is looking for is somewhere out there on the internet for absolutely free. But finding that information on the internet and understanding what's factually correct versus what's just complete noise is a whole different ball game. But when you gather all of the information from hundreds of different sources that's all factually correct, you strip back the noise and sync that information in a chronological order, you then have a high value item such as a course which you can then go on to sell. I guess it's kind of what I do here for YouTube, but obviously it's all free. I apply my knowledge in investing, not that I'm any kind of expert whatsoever, but that's the reason why I spend multiple hours researching, preparing for these videos. I condense all of these hours of research and information into a short 10-minute video for all of you guys to enjoy, and if you are enjoying this video, guys, be sure to smash the like button on it. But once you've chosen your skill and you've invested into yourself, and then you've created a product or service around that skill which you can then go on to sell to customers, how do you then kind of reach step number 4, which is to actually achieve the goals in which you've set for yourself? Well, in Runescape, this is where you'd go on to complete multiple different quests. Each quest has multiple different tasks within it that you have to complete in order for you to complete the quest and obtain the XP and rewards from doing so. You may have to go on to get the extra piece of equipment, extra knowledge from speaking to an in-game character, or perhaps even extra GP to get to that next part of the quest. The same goes for real life, but instead of calling it a quest, we typically call it a plan to achieve a specified goal. It's always wise to think about the financial goals in which you have in mind and then look to work backwards in order to create an actionable plan. For example, let's just say £100,000 per year in pre-tax income is your absolute goal. We can break that number down straight away by saying it's £8,333 per month or just £273 per day. But the next question is, how can you go on to achieve that level of income? Let's just use this YouTube channel as an example where I earn anything from £16 to £24 per 1,000 views. If I were to apply some of the numbers in which I've seen on this channel over the course of the past few months, we'd need somewhere in the realms of 724,608 views per month in order to make me that £8,333 in ad revenue. So how do I achieve that? Well, I'll probably look to break down that 724,000 views into more of a daily goal instead, which broken down on a daily basis is 23,374 views, which I hope to achieve by putting out at least 3 high quality videos per week on this channel. Or I can look to more creative mechanisms in order to generate additional income from this YouTube channel, looking at things like affiliate links, sponsorships, as well as referrals as well. Now, whilst I'm certainly nowhere near that £100,000 annual income figure just from YouTube alone, hopefully this starts to take you through some of the mindset of kind of taking a bigger goal and then chunking it down into more actionable steps in order for you to go on your own mini quest throughout the course of life in order to achieve your financial goals through taking smaller actionable steps over time. It certainly won't be as easy as leveling up on a video game, but it certainly is more important. So look, if you're into gaming, perhaps try and gamify your goals. Think about having each income target as a level, just like you could have as your investment portfolio or size of investment portfolio as being a level as well. And over time, look to rank up your own personal finances and your own personal finance position over time by taking mini quests with mini action plans in order to be able to achieve those goals. So hopefully you found this video useful on applying some kind of in-game principles to real life and how we can kind of use some of those in-game principles in order to gamify and kind of make our personal finances and achieving those goals a little bit more fun. So with that said, guys, if you did enjoy this video, be sure to drop a like on it, subscribe to the channel if you're new around here, and with that being said, I'll see you over in the next video.